The thing that people always say after you've said this and people have kind of bought into the idea that this is a critical part of their business is, okay, what do I write about? I don't know that I have an idea about what to write about every week or every 2 weeks. So I want to talk a little bit about great ways to generate ideas and places that you can go to try and get content. First one is, and Larry mentioned this, Google Alerts. So you can go into Google News Alerts, set up a news alert about your area of practice, and you can set it to come once a day, once a week, whatever have you. You'll get whatever the latest trending headlines are about your areas of practice. Also, the typical newspapers and magazines that you might read. I always will tear out articles and stick them in a file that you kind of jogged your interest or made you have a thought or opinion. Ask yourself, what's the next big trend? What's next? What are you hearing about when you speak with your colleagues? This is a great one to do some little bit of due diligence. Read your competitors' blogs and their blog comments to get ideas about what they're writing about and also maybe what they're not writing about. So oftentimes in comments, you'll see people out there asking questions like, oh, well, what do I do about this? Or how would I handle this? Use those comments as leverage for a blog post. This is a good one. Ask yourself, what is my client's biggest fear or concern? Typically, when you first meet with a client, what is the number one thing that is keeping them up at night or has them worried? And address that in a blog post. Talk about how, the ways you handle it or the ways you alleviate their fears. Good one when you're stuck is do interviews. So talk to your colleagues, talk to other bloggers who might be willing to do an interview for you and might be willing to get their name out there as well. It's good PR for them, and it takes a little bit of the heat off of you in terms of writing. When all else fails, write a sequel. So go back to your past posts. Be comfortable being candid if you were wrong. If you made a prediction and you were wrong, that's fine. Talk about what changed in the industry or what changed in your area of practice. Ask a question. So this goes back to this being a two-way dialogue. Be comfortable posing a question to your readers and asking them, how are they handling something? And invite them into that dialogue. Make a prediction. And you can be bold. Make a prediction about what you see is going to happen and what's going to change within your areas of practice. Or review the past and look back at what's changed in the past 5 years and the commentary, comment about what you've seen and what you've dealt with over the past couple years in your area of practice. An easy one to do and one you should do is come up with a regular feature. Whether that's once a week doing a summary of maybe cases you've won or talking about the latest news with your firm. And one thing I'd highlight on News with Your Firm is you can also talk about community involvement you have. Some firms maybe volunteer or they get involved in local organizations. Definitely make it clear if you're involved in anything outside of the typical practice. Read your comments. So do make sure that if someone comments on your blog post that you're going through, you're responding to them. And also if you see that there's kind of fodder there for another post, leverage it. This is a great way you can kind of social media group stalk people and kind of find out, be a little fly on the wall and hear what people are asking about. You can go to sites like Facebook or LinkedIn and join groups that are for people who would be target clients of yours. So for example, if you are a family law attorney, you could join a group that's for recently divorced or soon to be divorced parents. Hear what they're asking about, hear what they're concerned about. And the great news is if you go write a blog post about it, you can then go back to that group and link to your article. Great inbound link juice for your article. And then recruit a guest or two. So, to Larry's point earlier, it's great if you get people who offer to guest blog. It takes some heat off of you. Another great way to generate ideas is through a tool called Google Trends. And if you go to Google and you type in Google Trends, it will come up. Google Trends is a tool that Google provides that lets you see what the hottest searches are trending that day and that week. So when you go to it, you'll see what the latest and greatest is, what people are searching about. It changes quite frequently, as you can imagine. But one cool thing you can do is if you click through, they actually have an area called Insights for Search. And what you can do there is actually put in keywords that you might be using on your website, so keywords relevant to your area of practice, and see what's trending around those keywords. So, for example, I put in here the other day, divorce and child custody. It gives you some filter options. You can see up here, filtering for the United States, and you want to see things in the last 90 days. Well, the first thing it's going to do is show you just the overall interest over time. This can give you an idea of what kind of trends people are seeing, what kind of seasonality you might see within your area of practice. But the really cool thing is it will tell you what keywords are being searched in conjunction with your area of practice. I actually found this really funny. I searched divorce, obviously, and people are already talking about poor William and Kate getting divorced. Haven't even been married, what, a month? So you can see where people you'll see what people are talking about relative to your area of practice. Now, of course, you're probably not going to go write about William and Kate getting divorced, but you can certainly use that as an idea generation point to see what people are talking about. And the great news is if you use this, you know it's a topic that's going to get you search traffic. You know it's what people are interested in, and it gives you an idea. Another great place to do a little bit of idea generation is Twitter. Go to Twitter, type in some keywords around your area of practice, and see what people are tweeting. A lot of times people will be tweeting links to articles, another great place to get ideas. Or people will be tweeting questions or problems that they might be having. It's just a good place to, again, be that fly on the wall and hear what people are looking for. This is a lengthy list, but I'll tell you, the things that do best are short lists, quizzes, and tips. So typically a good blog post is going to be between 250 and 350 words. And the things that do the best are very short, easily digestible lists. A great example would be we worked with an auto accident attorney, and we did a recent blog post on the top 10 things to keep in your trunk in case of an auto accident, or the top ways to avoid an accident during the winter and winter driving. And also just anything that's got a little bit of sizzle to it. So design your own blank, the blank of the future. Just really short, succinct headlines is what typically does well. Definitely don't need to go for these lengthy, long headlines. They do a lot better if they're shorter and easily digestible. So key takeaways. The first one is that you're really going to use your blog and leverage your blog to demonstrate your personality and your expertise. This is a place where you're able to create that two-way dialogue, you're able to establish your thought leadership, and it's really an area for you to connect with potential clients. Second, use some of these easily accessible tools to look for trends and get ideas of popular topics. So whether that be kind of trolling Twitter to get ideas about the latest and greatest, or tearing ideas out of magazine articles. But thirdly, commit to updating it frequently. So make sure that you really do carve out an hour a week, or 2 hours every other week, whatever you can commit to on a regular basis, and maintain that blog. I can't tell you how many times I have seen attorneys start a blog, do great, commit to it, and 3 months later it has really fallen by the wayside. So if you're going to do it, it definitely needs to be something that you religiously carve out a specific time in your schedule to commit to, and really do think about this as a new form of practice development for you.